The ward smells like bleach and rain. Someone has left a window cracked just enough for the storm to whisper in. A wet-lipped secret slithering through the bars. Down the corridor, a metronome of keys and souls. Night staff walking their rounds, heads down, paperwork held like shields. Lights hum, fluorescents flicker. A patient hums back, off-key, as if answering a god only he hears. On the wall, pencil drawings layered for years. Moons in phases. Jaws, teeth. Jaws again, each circle shaded darker than the last. A calendar of becoming. The loudspeaker clicks, gentle as a hand on a shoulder. Please return to your rooms. No one moves. The storm leans in, and the whole building seems to breathe. They call him Elias Ward, because an intake form once demanded a name and that one sounded solid, biblical. He wears it the way men wear suits to funerals. He asked for silver once, not water. They gave him pills, small moons to melt under the tongue. None of it helped. Now he lies strapped to the bed in observation 2. The straps were meant for safety. He told them this is the wrong kind of night for safety. Too round, too bright, too much moon even behind the clouds. They laughed the way people laugh at a dog whispering thunder. Across from him, the mirrored window is a lake of light. Nurses on the other side talk into clipboards. A doctor taps his pen as if drumming will conjure medicine. The thunder rolls its own answer. Patience, then wait. Elias turns his face toward the ceiling where a hairline crack splits the paint like a thin white scar. He remembers digging a ditch as a child. Hands stung with clay, the shovel biting red earth. He remembers a pale wolf standing at the tree line watching him work, yellow eyes steady as lanterns. He remembers his father saying the old families were cursed, and the curse took what it wanted, when it wanted, and no chapel door could keep it out. He pulls against the straps, gently, testing, leather size. The loudspeaker clicks again. Please return to your rooms. Lightning powders the world to bone white for a single frame. The power dips, the fluorescence gutter catch. And then the moon finds him. It arrives not as light but as a pressure. A steady hand pressed to the center of the chest. Pushing through ribs, pushing through prayer. It is a memory with teeth. He clamps his jaw, but the jaw is only a hinge and the thing it holds back is older than doors. His fingers curl against the canvas sheet. Nails thicken. The first crack is quiet. Like ice settling in a glass, the second is not. It rings up the bones of his arm until his shoulder sparks. His breath leaves him in a sound that is not quite a moan, not quite a growl. The gutter between human and something with a wider throat. Seizure, someone says on the other side of the glass. Get diazepam, get. Elias grins a terrible grin that shows too many teeth for a grin. Too much pink, too much shine. He tries to say don't. He tries to say run. The mouth that finds the words is busy remaking itself. And the words shred like tissue on a wet floor. The first strap tears not a snap but a slow wet pop. As if sinew gives way, the second goes faster. The third asks a question of leather and answers it with claws. On the wall, the pencil moons look pleased with themselves. Down the corridor, patients turn toward the sound the way sunflowers swivel for the sun. Some clap, some sob. One man kneels and recites the Lord's Prayer backwards because it scares him more that he can. A woman named June digs her nails into the seams of her mattress, laughing. Because at last, something outside her head has decided to wear her fear and walk around in it. A nurse fumbles keys, another fumbles courage. The doctor speaks to the intercom in a steady voice that would be kind if it weren't so tired. Mr. Ward, breathe through it, remember your grounding. He watches his own reflection in the glass as he talks. Middle-aged, thinning hair. Eyes like a night road, then the reflection shivers as if the glass were a pond, and something big swam beneath. Inside the room, the body on the bed is a tide tearing its own shore. Tendons climb the wrists like ropes. Shoulder blades rise like wings that never learned the word angel. The spine counts upward in bright knots, prayer beads rubbed raw. Fur ripples out of the skin as if the body were a field and the wind had learned to be black. The muzzle pushes from the face like a fist through a curtain. Teeth come last, and they come as a crowd. He does not scream. Screaming belongs to small things. He discovers how a throat sounds when it shivers open along a different architecture. The phonetics of hunger. The howl rattles ceiling tiles and sinks into the padding and leaks out anyway. All the locked doors answer. Metal rattles, hinges sing inside those doors. People remember being animals, and it comforts them for the length of a breath. The loudspeaker, polite as ever, "Please return to your rooms." A laugh answers it from the women's side. "We never left." The glass gives, not the way a plate breaks, but the way a body does. It dimples under the wolf's palm, where fingers were 5 and now count tragedies. It dimples where the muzzle meets the world, then the safety film sighs free. A translucent skin peeling from the frame, the staff falls back, pencils dropping like little wooden bones across linoleum. The doctor, the one with night-road eyes, doesn't run. Tradition has positioned him between the thing and his people. He raises his hands the way men did before firearms were common. Empty palms, an old religion of trust, Elias, he says. Because names are a candle in a cave. If you can hear me, the wolf can. It hears the blood beneath the doctor's collar. It hears fists on metal doors. It hears the rain picking locks along the windowsills. It hears its own heart, ancient and efficient. A drum that wrote the first war songs, and beneath all that, a smaller drum. The one Elias used to count sheep as a boy when the pale wolf watched from the tree line. Patient, patient. For a second the head tilts, puzzled. The way a dog tilts at a whistle only it perceives. In that second, the doctor sees something behind the amber. Not mercy exactly, but memory. In a different world, a different burden. These two would have met at a fence post and talked about weather. In this world, the muzzle opens. The breath is wet as history. "Date," someone whispers. "There isn't time," says the doctor. He does not have to be brave much longer. The wards were designed for padded sermons, gentle words, gentle hands, a gentler architecture. Tonight the sermon is shorter. The wolf moves with the kind of grace that keeps men honest. A thing built from a blueprint that favored function over kindness. It flows through the torn window across the observation bay and into the corridor like a rumor that isn't wrong. Its shoulders brush the walls. Its claws find music in the floor. It does not rush. Predators prefer certainty over speed. June on the women's side presses her cheek to the door seam. "You're beautiful," she says, then bites the sentence in half before it can betray her further. Keys jangle. A guard who spent his childhood hunting with his uncle takes the shot he swore he'd never have to take. The bullet shouts. The wolf answers by turning and, with a neatness that would have squeaked praise from a ballet instructor. Not being there, the round shaves fur and kills a fluorescent light instead. The corridor becomes a pulse of light and dark, light and dark. The world strobed into a collection of truths and lies and the little grey alleys between. The wolf chooses the alleys. The guard drops the gun for just a second, just long enough to look at his hands and wonder whose they are. And when he looks up, the wolf is very close. The guard's name is Matteo. He keeps a drawing from his daughter in his locker, a son with a face and a lopsided cat. He is not afraid of dying. He is afraid of being seen while he does. The wolf sees him. It does not see prey. It sees a standing creature with forward-facing eyes and hands that shake. It tilts its head again. Something behind its eyes catches on the word Matteo, the way brambles catch sleeves. It moves past him. Matteo does not breathe for a very long time. At the end of the corridor, the heavy door toward C is old and sure of its purpose. The wolf tests it with a shoulder. The door compassionately declines to open. The wolf tests again, less politely. The hinges inform everyone of their opinion. Around the third test, the door remembers it is only metal, and that metal is a temporary religion. It opens inside Ward C. Men sit like stunned kings in their paper gowns. The first screams begin in earnest, and the building's bones hum as if tuning. The doctor with night road eyes makes a choice. He thumbs the emergency release for the fire doors. The alarm stutters into life. Red strobes, sirens saw. Doors that were supposed to keep the monsters in now open to let people out. Patients stream past him in their hospital socks, laughing, praying, apologizing to the god of orderly paperwork as they go. June rides the current like a queen on a modest barge. She catches the doctor's sleeve as she passes. "It likes music," she says. "Sing to it." "I don't sing," says the doctor, then hum. Humming is just cowardly singing. He hums. He surprises himself. His wife would have smiled at that sound. His son would have recorded it and auto-tuned it into a joke. He hums the old lullaby his mother used when fever took his summers. The corridor, busy with footfalls and sirens, makes room for the small tune. For a second, the wolf does too. It turns. It looks at him. Truly looks, as if the amber were a window and the man behind it wanted to be seen. The muzzle lowers, the ears angle forward. A dog remembering a porch, a child remembering a lantern. Elias, the doctor says again, and now it is a prayer then. Because mercy wears out quickly in places like this, the generator hiccups, the lights die. The siren coughs itself quiet, unpowered. The magnets in the fire doors release. Metal thuds shut across the ward with the neat finality of a lid on a box. Half the patients are free in the hall, half are not. The doctor is inside with the wolf and humming, and out of any more extra bravery he didn't know he had. The dark is complete for one long inhale. In that breath, everyone counts their life. 1, 2, 3. The exit signs exhale, their redo lantern glow returning. The world becomes a film shot by the emergency lights, grainy, red, expensive with shadow. The wolf is a void that learned to stand up when it moves. The red light breaks across it like water on a rock. It approaches the doctor, not a run, not even a prowl, just the directness of a truth. It presses a wet nose to his sternum hard enough to bruise. The doctor closes his eyes so he won't see the end coming. He keeps humming, not because it will help, but because the old song deserves to have one job left to do. The wolf listens. Behind the wolf, someone opens a window that no one believed could be opened. Rain enters like a tired actor hitting a mark. The scent of wet earth crosses the corridor. The scent of trees, the scent of out. On the wall, pencil moons shine under red light like coins in a fountain. The wolf leans toward the window the way iron leans toward magnets. To leave, it has to cross the ward. To cross, it has to pass the beds, the files, the little mountains of pills in paper cups abandoned in the panic. It passes a Bible open to a psalm about lions with their mouths shut and men who sleep anyway. It passes Mateo, who has found his breath and spends it not on screaming, but on whispering go, because sometimes courage is quiet and impolite. Halfway to the window, the wolf stops. It looks back at the doctor. The look is not gratitude. Gratitude is a human coin. It is something older. A nod between veterans of weather. The doctor bows, ridiculous and perfect. The window is narrow, but the wolf is patient. Bones are suggestions tonight. It turns sideways, shoulders compressing. Hip bones sliding under the fur like seals under ice. Aluminum screams a little as it gives. The storm welcomes the shape, insists on a blessing. Cold on the ribs, cold at the throat. Cold closing over the back like a hand-learning gentleness. For a moment it stands on the outer sill, rain smashing its fur down into black rivers. The yard below is a wire and shadow country. Beyond the fence, trees kneel in the wind. The wolf drops. It lands the way stories say cats do, in a pact with gravity rather than a war. It runs, it is not undetected. Alarms find new batteries. Men shout new orders, but detection doesn't matter. The thing that mattered was the door. Now the door is not a door anymore. Inside, the loudspeaker tries again. Valiant in its uselessness, please return to your rooms, June. Sailing past on her private current of joy, answers, we found new ones. Morning arrives like a tired detective. The rain has burned itself out. The asylum looks surprised to still be there, roof and all. The pencil moons on the wall have bled a little where water found them. The ward reeks of wet fur and ionized fear. Someone counts heads, someone else counts damages. The doctor sits in the empty observation bay and holds a paper cup of water he does not drink. His hands are steady now and will not be later. The mirror is a wound with tape over it. He leans toward it and sees a man who hummed to a monster and lived. In the yard, mud spells runes no one taught it. A single gray hair glints in the grass like a wire left from a forgotten fence. They will say it was mass hysteria. They will say it was a dog. They will say all the things men say to make the night small enough to fit in a report. And because tradition is strong, the report will be filed, the forms will be signed, and orderlies will mop the floor until the room remembers being a room again. But memory is a stubborn animal. At shift's end, Mateo will take a deep breath at his locker and find clay on his tongue. A flavor like old riverbeds. He will keep the drawing from his daughter and add a second figure next to the lopsided cat. Something with pointed ears, standing upright, smiling a little. June will sleep like a saint and wake knowing the hymn for nights that split their skin and walked away. The doctor will go home and hold his wife too long for a hello later. He will open his laptop and type Elias Ward and find no record beyond the asylum's own ghostly database. He will type old families and curse and wolf and be annoyed with himself for putting the words in that order. He will close the laptop and hum, and the humming will sound very much like a road at night with the windows cracked and something running the same way he is. Just far enough into the trees to be rumor, and out past the fence line where the asylum's authority runs thin. The forest will own the silence. A track of prints will run from mud to rock to no need for tracks at all. A shape will move between tree trunks with the confidence of things that learn to be themselves before the first brick stacked into the first ward. It will stop once at a ridge and look back, out of curiosity more than sentiment. And the wind will square its shoulders and carry the smell of bleach and rain back to the building. The moon will be a fading coin in the pocket of the day. The pencil calendar on the wall will wait to be redrawn. Hands will oblige. They always do, the phases wheel. They always will. Tonight is history, next time is doctrine. And somewhere in the city a dog will lift its head at a nothing noise and refuse to sleep for an hour. Somewhere a child will dream of a door they can open with their shoulder. Somewhere a man will hum while checking the locks and find he isn't afraid of the dark in quite the same way anymore. The loudspeaker in the empty ward clicks to life by itself. One last automatic reflex. The voice is cracked from the night. But still polite, please return to your rooms. The silence that answers is a promise. We already have. We carry them with us wherever we go, and for those who hunger for more, step deeper into the shadows with our ultimate werewolf horror playlist, linked in the description below. In the world of horror, the scariest things happen when you least expect them, and trust me, you don't want to be left in the dark. Welcome to the darkness.